Hey guys, happy Friday, November 22nd. This is happening. I have been waiting all week. I've been dreaming about this all week. I am celebrating Friday night, breaking 50,000 words, breaking 60,000 words on the way home from work tonight. Yeah. I haven't had a glass of champagne in forever, and tonight was the night. So, it's Friday. I'm home from work. I am so ready for the weekend. It was a long week. It ended well-ish. It's done. So we're in the home stretch, a couple days until Thanksgiving, a couple work days till Thanksgiving, and life is good. Like I said, I wrote on the way home. I broke 60,000 words. I wrote on the way into work too. I am at 61,252. We are still going. I hesitate to say strong. We're still going. I'm definitely feeling writing burnout in, it's feeling a little bit more forced. I think part of it is I'm just spent on a lot of different things. And I did have another maybe idea on the way home. So without going too into it, because it's not gonna make any sense anyway, I need to lose this too. Sorry, you're getting all of it. Something happens in the past with some of my characters that obviously influences the present. And I am now probably on my 6th scenario of what could have happened that fateful night in the past. And I think this might be the one. I feel like I've already said that a couple times before, but I'm kind of liking this idea. So I think I'm gonna kind of stick with it. We'll see where it goes. All bets are off. It's the 0 draft, so we'll see what happens. But I did write a couple scenes. I've got a couple kind of like placeholders of things to go back to. I feel like I'm getting a little too many characters. There's a lot going on. I'm trying to keep things straight. So I'm definitely gonna try and do a little wall mapping this weekend just to get it out. Also just to do a little something different. Clearly I'm ahead of schedule writing wise. I've already technically finished Nano. I do want to continue to write daily something. I'm not concerned with the 1,600 words a day, partially because I've already gotten to the finish line, and I don't want to just crank out words just to crank out words at this stage. So I do want to write every day just to stay in the habit and to do a 30-day writing streak. And then I'd like to spend a little bit of time kind of plotting some stuff out. That's weird, my screen just moved on its own, so that's creepy. We're gonna close it. So other than that, I have 2 things that came in the mail today. Neither of them books, but when I did one of my Nano donations, one of the thank you gifts, I guess, is a set of limited edition postcards, first class, I swear. And mine didn't come with my initial package. And I hate to be like a person who is greedy because it's a charity and it's a nonprofit, but I made a donation, I paid for the shipping, and I wanted them because it was one of the things I wanted. So they actually sent them to me separately, which is so lovely. So thank you to customer service at Nano for sending these out to me. And they came today. And I think you guys know, because I've said it before, this is the 20th anniversary of Nano. And every year there's a poster for each year that they do. So they selected some. This is my favorite of all, and I actually bought the larger poster of this. This is from 2006, and I am gonna get this framed. Let me hide behind it. That's my most favorite one. And then I would say like my second most favorite one, this is a longer one, 2011. This was like the first year I got like a big poster, and it's a whole bunch of words about Nano. Maybe that'll focus. I'm trying to look and not be in it. It reminds me of that poster, like Life, that giant poster, what that's all about. But they've got just different postcards from different years. That's the one I was holding up first. 2016 is this one. So I love it. And they are postcards. You can actually send them out. I probably am going to be a greedy little bee and hold on to them for me. So super excited, super grateful to Nano for sending them to me. Pleased as punch. And then I also got this. So I did wind up doing the Sephora VIB sale minimally. Me and my self-control. I actually wound up shopping the last night, which is why my package just arrived. Sorry for the noise. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. So I did get a few things, not crazy, but I also was at that cusp of like, I needed to spend, I think like $100 to keep my Rouge status. So duh, obviously that was gonna happen. I was bummed because my favorite Nest candle, and this is Sugar Cookie, which is kind of vanilla, smells like a sugar cookie. They don't have it anymore, and I feel like it's discontinued because I couldn't find it anywhere. And usually every year at the Sephora sale, I buy one of these because they're not cheap to begin with, but 20 off. That's when you get it. So anyway, I had to punt and buy other stuff. So it is a circle of cray that is happening here. So I'm going to drink more champagne, and my friend at work told me I have to watch How to Get Away with Murder tonight because she watched it last night, and I'm far too tired and far too old to stay up to watch that show anymore. Because after the season with The Sheet, which I still won't spoil it for you people just in case you want to start from the beginning, and you should because the first few seasons were great, I no longer stay up to watch the show on Thursday nights because they murdered someone on How to Get Away with Murder that I didn't want to see murdered. But I am going to clean up and get cozy, and I'm gonna pop some popcorn, and I'm gonna have a little more champagne, and I'm gonna watch Annalise and all the people on How to Get Away with Murder and see what's going on this week. Hey guys, it is Saturday morning. Welcome to a new week. Welcome to a new vlog. I am clearly in the parking lot. I just finished running a whole bunch of errands. I don't know why I have sunglasses on. It's not that sunny. Or it is that sunny, but not. Anyway, I just finished running a bunch of errands, got some groceries, did a little window shopping for Halloween, for Christmas. My hair is so staticky. But nothing too exciting. I am heading home. Gonna make some lunch. I picked up a coffee, I picked up a cookie. My Barnes & Noble has all those perks and I love it. So I did a little window shopping at the bookstore. I kind of snapped some pictures of a few books that I am interested in. I didn't buy anything though, so I feel like I am being such a good shopper. I don't know. I'm gearing up for the book outlet sale though, like I'm sure everybody else is. Dang, this is still so awkward. So what else? I definitely had some champagne last night. It did interrupt my sleep a bit, so I've been up since 5. But I watched How to Get Away with Murder. Holy crap, you guys. I don't know if anybody watches that show, but the mid-season finale totally made up for all the seasons that have been awful since the White Sheet season. Oh my God, I'm going to watch it again. So good. They've redeemed themselves. It doesn't come back till April. I'm gonna die between now and April. But I'm so excited, and it was so worth it. It was so worth it. And then I watched a little bit of Legacies, but I was just sort of like pooped out with a champagne buzz. So nothing too exciting happened last night. And then I did some reading this morning, so I have maybe 30% left in Reasons to Stay Alive. I'm enjoying it still. It's a really interesting look into his depression and anxiety and really how he coped and how he got through it and how he got to where he is today. So pretty amazing in that sense. And then I wrote a little bit. I'm a little bit in that struggle street time right now. I think I need to do some brainstorming and need a little distance. So I did write maybe like 750 or 800 words. So I'll write a little bit more this afternoon, but I did a little bit of that this morning. And then I started an audio book that's name is escaping me, but I will check back in with you guys later and let you know what it is. I was looking for a nonfiction And it's a biography. I'm totally blanking on her name, but basically she quit drinking. So it is sort of her life after alcohol and how to cope, so to speak. But really interesting sort of commentary so far about sort of how central drinking is to so many different things we do, from work settings and team buildings and, nights out, and how basically anything and everything you do has alcohol available, whether it is like a vino and vinyasa yoga class she was talking about. I mean, even my Barnes & Noble sells alcohol. It's just everywhere. So it's sort of a very interesting commentary. Especially, and I mean, like, I feel fine. It's not like I was like out of my head last night or anything, but, and I don't drink all that often, but it's been very interesting listening to, and I'm really enjoying it. So I will pop a picture of that in here too. But I'm going to head home now, and I will keep you guys posted on how the day's going. But it's a beautiful Saturday here, and I'm loving it. So happy Saturday, everybody. Hey everybody, still Saturday, later in the day at 7:30. I just wanted to do a quick check-in to let you guys know where I'm at with writing, because it's supposed to be a writing vlog. I did a little bit more writing this afternoon. I think I wound up closing in at like 1,300 words today, maybe. I was working on a murder scene. I was really kind of like struggling a bit with like all of it. So like I felt like I was really like trying to force what was happening and the fight and like what leads to the murder and all of that. So I just kind of like wrote some stuff out, and I'm just giving myself a break. So I did write, that's the whole point, which is good. But I also treated myself to listening to an audiobook today, and I listened to Nothing Good Can Come From This by Christy Coulter, and it is a nonfiction book. It came out in 2018. I was scanning Hoopla this morning because I was looking for something to read, because I think I've talked about it. I'm missing reading desperately, and as much as I want to pick up multiple books that I have on my shelf, I can't focus on, I think, another story. So I'm trying to stick to nonfiction. So this is like a series of essays. The audiobook itself was like 6 hours. I did it like time and a half and time and 3/4. So I wound up listening it, the entire audiobook, through the course of the day today when I was home doing different things. And it is her sort of reflections on quitting drinking. So she stopped drinking maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And it's a very interesting book. And it's a lot about like her kind of like growing up and working and her marriage. And I talked about this in the car when I couldn't think of the name of the book. But it's a really interesting book. And I would say it's very thought-provoking, whether you are someone who, is a social drinker, if you are someone who drinks more frequently, if you're someone who doesn't drink at all. I just think it was very interesting hearing her perspective. I liked her literal voice. She narrates it. I liked her voice on the page. I thought it was very well done. And one of the other books that I was planning to read as part of my reread challenge, which I need to catch you guys up on because I failed at it, is called Drinking a Love Story by Carolyn Knapp, who was a Boston Phoenix writer a long time ago. And this is her struggle with alcoholism. So I seem to be in these theme books a little bit. But it was a really interesting listen. And I would highly recommend it because it's not just about not drinking. And, it's also about just sort of like how she's gotten through it and how it's affected her marriage and how it's affected her life. And just sort of reflections on our society as it is today, both from sort of how drinking is so integral to so many things in our society, but also just sort of broader commentary on things. So I would recommend it. I thought it was great. Like I said, it's free on Hoopla. I also see that they have it on Book Outlet, so I think I've put it on my wish list that I might try and pick it up during the Black Friday sale. So that happened. And then I have not made any more progress on Reasons to Stay Alive because I was doing this instead, but I'm going to plan to try to finish that tonight too. So I'm feeling really good about reading and having a couple books under my belt. Yeah, so all of that happened. So I just kind of did some more errands and chores and stuff like that. Nothing exciting to tell you or show you, but that's Saturday night for you. So I am gonna go get on with my night, and I will check in with you guys later. Bye. Hi everybody, it is Sunday the 24th of November. It is almost like 6 o'clock at night, and I actually filmed a bunch of videos today, and I was just cleaning up in the kitchen and I realized I didn't do an update about Nano. So super quick, I wrote a little bit this morning. I only wrote about 700 words, so I did break 63,000 as my overall word count, but not a lot of writing today. I am definitely feeling the burnout flatness of writing right now. So since I've already done the 50,000, I did write for the day, so I did about half kind of the normal word count that you would try and get to. I decided to just give myself a break for the day and take care of some other things that I wanted to do and needed to do. Super crappy rainy day here, but I baked some cookies. I baked some chocolate chip cookies today, which I love to do, and obviously licked the bowl. But they're like healthful cookies. It's oat flour and coconut sugar and all sorts of stuff. So it's a healthier version of the chocolate chip cookie, but I love them, so I did that. I finished Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig. So I wound up actually listening to like the last 50 pages, I want to say, on audiobook. They had it at Hoopla, which I came across when I was looking at a different book, the Travis Barker book, Can I Say, which I also started today, but just to talk about this one. So this was a really interesting read, and this is Matt's story about his depression and his anxiety, and he opens with, you know, how he was going to commit suicide and didn't. And it's about the struggle that he faced and how he got through it, and how his family and his now wife were really the reasons that he did survive and did make it through. And he talks about like warning signs he had that he had ignored when he was younger and when he was in college. And it's a very interesting read. It's a very hopeful story at the end. And there's some great nuggets in here. I think whether you are someone who is suffering from mental health challenges or you know someone in your life who is, I think there's great takeaways for both someone who is struggling to get through and also someone who is struggling to understand someone who suffers from anxiety, depression, or any other mental health challenges. So I think it's a really good read. He read the book himself, so obviously always nice to hear the author's voice himself. Actually, yeah, I think he read it. Isn't that awful? Yeah, he did. But one of my favorite parts, so there's a lot of like really short chapters. I talk about this in my other videos that I did. I've got my artificial lighting going because it's so dark. But there's some really short chapters, some lists. He does a lot of lists, which I love, and some good takeaways, and just some great kind of like one-liners, but it's like, you know, how to live, things he's learned, things he's enjoyed since he thought he wouldn't enjoy anything ever again. It's just a great reminder of appreciating every moment, I would say. It's very good. It's hard to sort of boil it down into like a quick little synopsis. I'll talk a little bit more about it in my wrap up, but very happy I did this. So Nonfiction November book 2 is down. And then, like I said, I started the Travis Barker autobiography, called Can I Say? And he is, if you don't know, the drummer for Blink-182, amongst other things, but really a very well-respected, well-renowned drummer in the music industry. Since he was a teen, he basically like started drumming when he was like 4 years old. And I didn't know a lot about his life kind of before Blink-182. That's when I discovered him. And then he had that horrible plane crash in 2008 where he almost died. And he is currently, so he and DJ AM survived the plane crash, but DJ AM wound up dying a year later, and unclear if it was an accidental or intentional overdose that he had. But I think a lot of the book will focus on the plane crash and sort of his life after that, as you can imagine. So sort of the opening chapter is that moment, and then we go back to his childhood. You get perspectives from his dad, his sisters, a manager of a band that he was in kind of early on in Laguna Beach, which I didn't know any of his past history. So I'm finding it very interesting. And then I think I might pick up Evie Drake, Starts Over. Evie or Evie, somebody please tell me, I'm not quite sure. But I have figured out that I miss stories and I miss reading books. So I think that's the other thing where I'm suffering for the burnout. I'm starting to really feel the void. I did come up with an idea today for the book, but I just wasn't feeling the inspiration to be writing it. So I kind of jotted down some notes and started. So I have like a thread to pick up either later tonight if I feel into it, or tomorrow morning when I'm on the train. So that's happening. But I might pick this book up because I really am missing a story. And I think I'm safe reading a contemporary rather than a thriller, even though I have a bunch of thrillers I want to read. And then I feel like that's kind of it. So I'm gonna watch American Music Awards tonight. I can't wait to see Taylor Swift's performance for her Icon Award that she gets. There's no red carpet though. I looked and there's no red carpet, which I don't understand. So anyway, I am gonna do that. It is Sunday, which means it's manicure night, so that's gonna happen. And I'm just gonna go about my business and gear up for a very short work week, which I'm excited about. Because basically the holiday starts when I get on that train Tuesday night, so life is good. But I hope everyone's having a good weekend, and I will check back in and let you guys know what's happening on my end. Bye. Hey everybody, happy Monday night. It is November 25th. It's like 7:21, looking down at my iPad. I got home a little bit later than planned, but whatever. Things are happening, things are good. So writing, back on it. I will say, so I did write yesterday too. I just only wrote like 600 or 700 words yesterday. But today I am at 66,312. So I wrote a lot today, which is great. And I think, I'm worried I might have ruined myself in that I have been writing on my iPad. I showed you guys this pop-in keyboard that I got. And I write on this on the train every day, both directions. And then at work, at lunch and stuff, at lunch, not like at my desk or anything. When I can and when I get a lunch break, which anyone who works in any sort of corporate office environment knows that that is not a given, but I have been writing on this and I feel like I'm so accustomed to it that writing on my laptop feels weird to me. So I might be writing more on this as time goes on, but we'll see what happens. It's all good. I'm totally happy that I wound up buying that keyboard because it makes a huge difference. And so changed my murder again today. Had another epiphany where I was like, what if it was this person? Maybe that would be less predictable. Maybe that would be more shocking. So I'm now writing a scenario. I'm not actually writing the murder scenes. You don't see them because I've talked about this. I have two kind of past perspectives. So I have two different timelines going. Two people in the past, one person in the present. And my person in the present, spoiler alert, as of now, isn't the killer. So we're not actually watching the murders happen. We're just watching the aftermath and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm actually back to someone who I thought might be the murderer before. I'm back to this person now. We'll see what happens, but I feel like this is less obvious, whereas before it was a little more obvious, but then there was more sort of explanation and aftermath and other stuff going on. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna do the reveal yet, but that is for another day. That's what that's all about. So I've got a couple things going. I've also figured out, it's getting like darker by the minute, but I think that's fine too because I'm sort of enjoying that. And I think these people, anyone who writes, I think can understand, like, the more you write your characters, the more you get to know them. So I'm never someone who's done character sheets or tried to like figure out all the ins and outs of a character, or said this person is this way and that person is that way and that's how they're gonna stay. So I found that I started out making most of them likable in my opinion, except for that girl who still has the name of that girl that I don't like in real life. But I'm starting to make them a little bit less likable, and I'm liking that about them. So I'm thinking about a lot of books that I've read, and it's in no way am I suggesting that it is any of these types of books. But I think about Gone Girl, I think about The Kind Worth Killing, I think about My Lovely Wife, and how there's a lot of super unlikable characters in these, but I thoroughly liked the books. So I think some of my characters are gonna wind up being, I hope, that kind of unlikable character that people still enjoy reading about, versus an unlikable character that people just hate and aren't interested in. So all that to say, I wrote today and writing is good, and we are at day 25. I started a new book last night, and let me give you a frame of reference of where my mind is at. So I was going through my bookshelves because I got some new books that you guys have seen in these vlogs and stuff like that, and they needed a home back here. And I started to look and realized, not that it took this for me to realize, but like that I've got some books that I need to thin out, and I wanted to reorganize because it was starting to get like a little junky looking. So I started going through some books, and I kept coming across these books that have been on my shelf for a while, but I haven't read them and have had little desire to read them, but not ready to part with them. So I was like, I'm gonna do a video about like the oldest books on my bookshelf. And by the time you're seeing this vlog, that video will have gone up. And the first book, my text message noise is loud. The first book that I picked up that like inspired it all, I like picked it up, put it down, went to go do who knows what, came back and pulled all the books, shot the video, was editing the video last night, and realized the book that started it all isn't even in the video. So London is the Best City in America by Laura Dave is a book that I have had over a decade. This book came out in 2006. I checked before I started filming this. I don't just remember that, but I do remember buying it at the Barnes & Noble that was across the street from me when I lived in the city. And I loved the title, I loved the cover, super curious how London is the best city in America. And this is, I would say, kind of like fiction. I hesitate to say chick lit because I haven't read it yet, and I don't know that it's like the lightness of chick lit. It might be more fictional than just like Confessions of a Shopaholic type of books that were coming out during this time. And I keep coming to it but never picking it up. So I picked it up last night. I didn't get far. I kind of did my own fake version of the try a chapter tag. So I read 12 pages, which was the first 2 chapters of the book. And it is about this girl, Emmy, and she is going back home to her brother's wedding. So it's his wedding weekend. She's returning home. The past year has not been her brightest. She broke up with her fiance. She's sort of living on her own, kind of lost, trying to find herself. Her family doesn't understand why she hasn't just come home altogether after things ended with the fiance. And she's not looking forward to having to deal with all the questions. So she goes home, and according to the back of the book, her brother having a bit of cold feet and doubts about getting married. So he asks Emmy, like, what do I do now? So they have 72 hours until the wedding, and they embark on a road trip together in search of a mystery girl. So I don't know if it's like an ex of her brother's or like the one who got away, and all that kind of stuff. And it says, along the way, Emmy discovers some undeniable truths about what she wants from her own life, and she begins to realize that perhaps her own happy ending is not as far away as it seems. So it's a debut novel. It's got some plugs on the back from Melissa Bank and Susan Isaacs, Washington Post book review. And I would say, you know, the first 2 chapters, which again, 12 pages, it's not a lot. I'm liking the language of it. Like, I'm liking the feel of it. So I'm gonna stick with it and see what happens. It's not a long book. I feel like maybe it's 240 something pages. Maybe I'll just be pleasantly surprised. And I mentioned in another vlog, I'm super missing reading. So I think it'll be nice to be literally reading a book. I've done a couple audiobooks in the past few days, but I was missing a story. And as much as I like a nonfiction, I think I could handle a fiction book while trying to write a thriller about murdery, unlikable people. So this is happening. So that's kind of it for here. I am gearing up for Thanksgiving. I already talked about how I did a little bit of baking. I am gonna bake with my mom when I get to their house, which should be fun. And other than that, I've got one day of work to get through. It seems like the day is just stacked now, which seems to be just the way it goes. You get a 2-day work week and everything is just piled on. But I am so looking forward to time off. I have not had a day off since I started this job, which was at the end of August, which feels like forever ago. It's crazy. So it's been, I guess, like 3 months now I've been there. So I'm looking forward to not just getting like a day off. I did have to take that day off to get my car inspected and serviced and all that kind of stuff, which really, not a lot of fun when you're at the dealership for the day. But to be able to be off for 5 days, a little holiday time, a little family time, a little me time. I've got a lot of things I want to accomplish. I want to get my holiday decorations up and all that good stuff too. So anyway, that's it for this one. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow though. So bye guys. Hey guys, it is Tuesday, the 26th. I just got home from work. I'm officially on vacation, holiday, Thanksgiving, some extra days off. So excited about it. I have so much I want to do tonight to prep for the holiday, but I'm so happy to be home. It was like the craziest 2 days at work. Like, I feel like that's always the way. We got like the bomb drop at like 2:30 today that there's this epic meeting next Thursday, which is an insanity show, but it's next Thursday. I'll worry about it then. I'll worry about the fact that the most amazing person who used to help spearhead the event has left the company temporarily to go do something fascinating that I can't talk about because it's confidential. But anyway, the world is turning. So it's Tuesday night. I wanted to check in super quick because I really feel like I'm gonna fall pretty much off the grid for the holiday. And word count, Nano check-in, still writing. Not my worst day, not my best day. There was a little bit of struggle. There were a little bit of ideas. Official count, 69,503 words. I really want to hit 70,000 tonight, but I don't know that I'm gonna do it because I am pooped. So, I changed my killer again. I had an idea on the train. I think what I'm gonna do is write out a bunch of scenarios. I think I've narrowed it down to 1, 2, 3, 4 possible people who could be the killer. And I am currently writing my 4th person. So I want it to feel unexpected, and obviously I don't want it to be obvious. And I kind of thought of this idea this morning on the train, and it felt unexpected to me in the moment, but then again the other ones did too. So I'm gonna go with it. My battery is going to die. I will check in with you guys. You're gonna see this after Thanksgiving, but I hope everyone had a terrific one. But the brain is still churning, I am still writing, and I will let you know sort of what all happens next time I check in. Bye guys. Hi everybody, happy November 30th, last day of Nano. It is 5:45 at night. I didn't check in during the holiday, obviously, but I wanted to wrap up this vlog. I did write every day, which I'm super excited about. I stayed with it, 30-day writing streak, And because of my own self-competitive nature, I set a goal for myself and I just finished it, which is why I'm hopping on camera. And I am finishing Nano at 75,180 words. I don't know if you can see it on here. I did go to the bottom of a blank page, so you can't see anything I wrote. It's 262 pages, which again doesn't mean much at all because there's page breaks and some different size fonts and chapter breaks and things like that. But at the end of the day, the word count is what I'm counting on. It is the most I have ever written ever. For a Nano, it's the most I've ever written in a month. Like, it's insane. And I think the strategy of just plowing through and just putting in placeholders throughout and not stopping to do research, to fact check, to try and find the perfect name, to try and find the perfect street, to make sure I've got the name of the wine right, or whatever it is the thing that helped me get through this. To be clear, this is not a finished draft. I haven't solved the crime yet. So I do still have more to do on the zero draft, which I'm going to continue writing. My goal is to dial it back in the sense that I'm not going to be writing like both times in my commute necessarily. I do want to start reading again. I want to kind of, obviously I've got some life to do. It's December tomorrow. So I've got holiday stuff to do and some things to wrap up at work. And I'm going to take a little bit of my foot off the gas when it comes to writing, but I am going to see this through as a zero draft, take a breath, and then get into the research and get back into it. So I'm really excited about that. I will say, for those who have followed my journey so far, I think I am staying with the current murderer. So we'll see. It could change in the editing process, but we'll see. But that's what I'm working towards. I just haven't quite figured out the reveal yet. So I will get there. I will eventually get to the magic words, the end, and then take it from there. But this has been an exhausting, amazing, crazy, unexpected experience. Like I said, I've done this before. I have never done it quite like this. I have never put so much aside in the rest of my life to commit to writing, even though I have one Nano before. So it really, I think, was proof to myself that I can put my mind to something and do it, and that is not just, or should not just be limited to creative endeavors. But I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I can do. I learned a lot about my writing process. I learned a lot about sort of making the best of situations and just writing no matter what, and giving up a lot of other things to make it happen. And I'm so happy I did it. So I know this is not usual content. I will do kind of a full post-mortem when I've been able to take a breath, and just kind of some takeaways from this month and this writing and everything. But thank you to everybody who watched, commented, listened, entertained even a few minutes of these vlogs that I was doing. Writing is such a solitary endeavor, which anyone who writes knows. And I feel like BookTube is similar in that sense, where you're sitting here talking to a camera, there's nobody else in the room, but it feels like I'm connecting with everyone, and it feels like I'm talking to everyone, because you guys write back and you listen and you watch and all of that good stuff. So thank you for making this feel a little bit less alone. Thank you for, again, watching. I know this is not usual stuff. I've tried to pepper in some book stuff. I have some more book videos coming. No surprise, I am not doing Vlogmas after 30 days of writing. There's no way I can commit to like 20 days of just a new creative endeavor, but I will have all sorts of stuff coming, and we'll figure it all out. And I'm saying so much because I am literally fried. I was gone for a few days. I just got home tonight, and this is where we're at. So happy end of Nano for anyone who did it, whether you wrote 100 words, 1,000 words, 100,000 words, everywhere in between. Congratulations to everybody. I hope everyone is feeling good about what they wrote, has some nuggets of some ideas and something that they can run with, and that you are congratulating yourselves because you did it. This feels insane. I am literally so brain dead, and if I wasn't so brain dead, I might actually consider celebrating. But I think I'm just gonna make some hot tea and get cozy and zone out for the night. I don't think I'm gonna write anymore tonight, but never say never. There you have it, end of Nano, 30 days, 75,000 plus words, and very possibly a story that might become my priority story, and we'll see what happens from there. So that's it. Thanks again, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.